Hey everybody, happy 2023 and welcome back to another episode of Making a Difference here on Buzz TV. I'm your host, Wayne Veldsman. Today, I'm excited to introduce to you the president or the executive director and founder actually of Brad's House, Mr. Nick Thompson. Nick, thank you so much for being here today.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Wayne. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure. I like to just start us off. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit in your own words all about Brad's House, what you guys are doing over there?
Yeah. So Brad's House was founded 5 years ago as a group home. And over the last 5 years, we have transitioned that group home into a full-blown residential treatment center for at-risk young men here in Colorado. So we're a 9-bed treatment center, and we specialize in providing a therapeutic setting where kids can feel safe and loved and they're able to work on themselves. And we work with clients that have been removed from their homes from the Department of Human Services for abuse or neglect or just lack of an appropriate living situation. And then we help those kiddos, develop in a way that they would be appropriate for a more typical setting. Right now, all of our boys have some type of behavioral setbacks that are keeping them from accessing a more typical foster care situation. And we're really proud to do that in a hands-off environment and in a home-like setting. So our facility is ran out of a actual typical residential home, although it is a full-blown treatment facility.
Nice. Do you find that's interesting, right, that you mentioned that it's ran out of a typical home? Do you find that's making somewhat of a difference in the boys' lives?
Yeah, that matters. That's the whole idea of it, right? We knew we wanted to do this transition. It was a plan of ours for a long time, and we believe in those home-like settings. It feels like home. Our boys call it their home. And so we're pretty anti-institutionalized settings, and we're really just, outside the box thinking and kind of a fresh take on how we should be dealing with these type of kiddos. And we've been pretty successful with that.
Anti-institutionalized settings, out of the box thinking. I like it a lot. I'm just jotting notes over here. I noticed something else on your website. I think it was, you mentioned that you guys are working really to change the foster care system, right? I think a little while ago you mentioned a little bit that you guys are maybe even a step right before the foster care system. Tell us just a little bit more about that. What you mean by working to change that system overall?
Yeah, so I got involved and really started getting educated in the foster care system about 7 or 8 years ago. And I really feel strongly that they've left out a portion of those kiddos. The idea of foster care, every kid deserves a home, every kid deserves a family. And the reality is some kids have lived through severe enough trauma to where people don't want them in their homes. And no one likes that sentence and people don't want to say it out loud. But the reality is we have to find a way to care for those groups of kids in home-like settings where they can feel safe, where they can be loved, so they can one day get back to that. And the way that things are being done right now, we believe strongly that group of kiddos was forgotten in the legislation that was rolled out in 2019 in the Family First Act. And so we really, we think we're onto something. We think we know how to deal with that. It is a big time problem, not only in our state, but in our nation, lack of beds for that demographic of kiddo. And we think that there's a way to do it in a home-like setting where those kids can be safe. We just do a good job.
Nice. Sounds like you guys are doing a really great job. If you could put it in like one bullet point or one sentence, you think of the difference that you're working to make in this world, what would that be?
I think just, the epitome of the selflessness of it, doing something that you might never be thanked for and understanding every kid, no matter how they behave, no matter how they act, it is a direct byproduct of their trauma, and they deserve to be loved at a high level as well.
Deserve to be loved at a high level. You guys are definitely making that difference. And so, you said sometimes it might be thankless, but I would love to personally thank you for not just being on the show today, but for seriously this difference that you're working to make in Colorado the nation and in the world also. So Nick, thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Wayne. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. And everybody else out there, thank you for being on today. We appreciate you tuning in. If you want to learn more about Nick and all the work that he's doing over there at Brad's house, please visit us on iwantabuzz.com. Until next time, you've been listening to Making a Difference.